Well, hey everybody. So, two in one day, two quick thoughts in one day. I know it's nuts, but you can blame Jesse. Okay, just blame Jesse because it's all his fault. Jesse is the one that will very often throughout the day just send me texts or messages and say, "Hey, have you checked this out?" and stuff like that. And he's a great guy for that. And so he sends me a text today. He's like, I'm watching answering Advent. I'm watching answering Adventism uh, debate three pastors, and I'm obviously in the middle of a work day, and I'm like, doggone it, doggone, because Jesse has definitely turned me on to some amazing stuff. He's the one that sent me to Test the Prophet, and even answering Adventism. I think so. It's a long video. The video lasts, I guess, 2 hours and 36 minutes if memory serves. The first part of it I watched at time and a half speed, uh, which was perfectly fine. I just have to say I've already sent a text to Miles. It's my favorite video that he's done. It's my favorite video that he's done. Um, I'm not trying to boost him up. Miles strikes me, and you might see the tattoos and stuff and think one thing. He strikes me as incredibly humble, and he, I just had to send him a text, tell him it was the best thing I've seen him do. Uh, it reminds me, and I'm not trying to say he is that. Listen to me. I'm not saying he is that, but it comes from this place of like the prophets of old, like Elijah telling those false prophets, just come on out here and we'll have a conversation. We'll see whose God is bigger. You bring them. Just so go ahead. Pour as much water on there as you want. Dig a trench around it. The way he stands up, and speaks so eloquently, the way that because of his background in Adventism and his deep knowledge of it, that is equal to or greater than their own pastors, or at least these three. It When you watch it, it's just one of the most impressive things. You don't see him say something like, "I'll have to think about that." You don't hear him say, "That's a great point." He is not he. You never see Miles shaken. And frankly, when I watch what he does, I'm thinking, yeah, I could never do that. The fact that he is standing up in front of three Adventists, and they are the ones going, "That's a great point." They're the ones that almost they're laughing as he points out their error, which at times Miles isn't laughing and I'm not laughing. I'm thinking, it's about the gospel. There are times he's talking to them about the gospel, and it's almost like they're embarrassed, or it, it's just an amazing thing. And as I said, watching Miles do this, and some people might be put off by it, um, because like in a certain sense, listen to me. He gives no quarter. He gives no quarter. He does not give up an inch. And I cannot help but think the Apostle Paul, Elijah, all the prophets of old, going even into like the Reformation age, like they would say to him things like, "Well, you're focusing on these words," and he responds to them. He responds to them by saying, "People were set on fire because they believed in these words." Like they're so far removed, they don't see the importance of these words. It's very inspiring. Ultimately, ultimately, if these men do not repent as he called them to do, if they don't repent, you know, there's onus upon them. These are three pastors, and to hear them admit, to hear them admit that no, I don't hold to these things that the Adventist church, it honestly, it reminded me of like when I would talk as an Adventist, when I would talk to a Catholic, and I would say things like, and I'll make a point up, I give them a point, and they go, well, that's just what the Pope thinks. And I'm like, yeah, but why would you want to be part of this if like, if this distinction, if there was this misalignment, why would you? So as an Adventist, we would always point that out to Catholics, but when it's pointed out to them, well, this is what I've always known. They mentioned multiple times family. They mentioned something that I'm familiar with, this idea of, well, I want to stay in here and help change it. And in my head, I'm thinking, um, you're being too naive. You're being too naive. This is only God Himself is going to be able to flip that thing around. And it's honorable, it's commendable. But my gut would be to you three need to check out to get your own spirituality in line. You three need to check yourselves out to make sure your theology is in check before, because the points that Miles made, incontrovertible. They're not debatable. It starts with her. All theology is downstream from that. Such strong points, sharing the gospel with them in clear terms. So that's all I have to say, everybody. If you do nothing, watch that video as soon as you can. It is well worth your time. And if you haven't, please follow Answering Adventism. Like his videos, give him all the support that we can. Keep him in your prayers. Test the Prophet. Keep all those guys in your prayers. I know Test the Prophet is working on some new stuff. Oh my gosh. He sent me a picture the other day of this from this book of an Ellen White quote, and I about fell out of my chair about the Sabbath. Unbelievable. So he's preparing some stuff. So just keep them in your prayers and their ministries. So God bless you guys. Love you and thank you for all your support. And we'll see you guys next time. You take care.